welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling a big one. How artificial intelligence might, fundamentally shift the job market. You've sent in a really compelling collection of articles and research exploring this, and our goal here is to cut through the noise, find those core insights.
Yeah, the real aha moment.
Exactly, about how AI could both create and disrupt jobs. It's a complex picture, lots of angles. We want to give you a clear, concise understanding of what's really significant.
Absolutely. And the material you share, it really highlights the potential for a profound transformation. Yeah. What's particularly striking is just the sheer scale of the possible changes we might be facing.
Okay, so let's dive right in then. Now, when we first think about AI and jobs, some immediate concerns definitely pop up. That 2023 McKinsey report you included?
Yeah.
Pretty eye-opening. It projects something like 30% of current job tasks in the US could be automated by 2030.
30%? That's a huge chunk.
It really is. Millions of jobs potentially affected. They even list specific roles like cashiers, drivers, even radiologists.
Yeah, radiologists. That one often surprises people.
It does. So you can see why those numbers fuel anxieties about, widespread job displacement, the whole robot apocalypse idea.
It is understandable. Those big predictions grab headlines, but it's important to remember major tech shifts always impact the job market. The sources you set, they smartly bring up the ATM example. Remember the fear that ATMs would just wipe out bank teller jobs?
Oh yeah, I remember that narrative.
But what actually happened? Well, the number of tellers maybe shifted a bit, but the roles fundamentally changed. More focus on customer service, complex needs.
That's such a crucial historical perspective. A reminder that tech doesn't always mean destruction. Sometimes it's redefinition.
Exactly.
Redefinition.
But, and this feels key, what seems different this time, and several sources highlight this, is that AI isn't just hitting physical labor.
No, that's the crux of it. It's creeping into areas needing creativity, complex analysis.
Precisely. That's the big shift now. We're seeing AI capabilities in writing, design, even coding.
Fields we kind of thought were safe, right? The realm of human intellect.
Exactly. Some of the material mention potential impacts on, entertainment industry creators.
Wow.
So that generates a whole different level of concern because it touches a much broader spectrum of jobs.
It's not all negative, is it? Yeah, because the sources also talk about completely new job categories popping up directly because of AI.
Right, the flip side.
Things like prompt engineers. Yeah, people who are good at talking to AI, basically.
Getting the AI to do what you want effectively.
And data curators, making sure the AI learns from good, organized data. AI ethicists.
So crucial roles. The big question, though, the one looming over everything.
Will these new jobs be enough? Enough to balance out the losses?
That's the central uncertainty, isn't it? We see these new roles appearing, and they're definitely needed, but the scale compared to potential displacement, still very much an open question. And it's moving fast. These specializations are appearing and evolving incredibly quickly. It's fluid.
Okay, let's dig into that disruption idea a bit more. Sector by sector. Manufacturing is the obvious one, right? Decades of automation already.
It is the classic example.
But the sources suggest this new AI 2.0 if you like, could go deeper, affecting higher skilled, higher wage jobs even there.
That's right. Old automation was mostly about repetitive physical stuff. Now, AI can handle more complex decision-making data analysis within manufacturing. Okay. And it's not just manufacturing. That Goldman Sachs estimate you included, 300 million potential global job automations.
300 million, that number's staggering.
It really is. I may mention lawyers analyzing contracts, marketers optimizing ads.
Yeah, white-collar jobs, things many thought were, pretty insulated. So, digging down, what makes a job vulnerable according to the sources? What are the characteristics?
Well, the consensus seems to be jobs heavy on repetitive tasks, especially if training for those tasks is expensive or time-consuming.
Okay, like what?
The examples given were things like paralegals, accountants, even some middle management roles that are mostly about routine oversight.
Got it. But it's not always simple replacement, is it? The idea of AI augmenting human jobs comes up too. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, augmentation is super important here. It's not just AI versus humans. It can be a tool.
How so?
Think about teachers using AI for grading papers. That frees them up, right? More time for actual mentoring, for developing creative lesson plans.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Automating the tedious stuff.
Exactly. It enhances the human's ability to focus on the more strategic, creative, or, human parts of the job.
That makes sense. Shifting from competition to collaboration. Yeah, but a big concern raised in the sources is the unequal impact.
Yes, that's critical.
It feels like someone tech-savvy adapts easier than, say, a factory worker whose whole career has been manual tasks.
That's a huge risk, and the sources are right to flag it. We could see existing inequalities widen. The skills needed are changing, and access to retraining isn't equal.
So the transition is smoother for some than others.
Definitely. People already in tech fields versus those in roles heavy on physical labor or routine processes. It's a difficult game.
Which leads to the next question. Solutions. The material mentions things like universal basic income trials, like in Finland. What's the thinking there?
Well, the idea behind UBI in this context is basically creating a safety net. If traditional full-time work becomes less common due to automation,
Then people still need to survive.
right, it potentially decouples basic income from needing a specific job, giving people breathing room to retrain, pursue education, maybe start something new. It's controversial, of course.
Highly debated.
But the fact that it's being seriously considered shows the potential scale of the disruption people are anticipating.
Okay, let's pivot. Let's look at the flip side, the opportunity, the job creation angle from the sources.
Optimistic view.
The World Economic Forum predicting 97 million new AI-related jobs by 2025. That sounds pretty good.
It does. And what's fascinating is that many of these jobs, we can't even fully imagine them yet.
Like what?
Well, the sources toss out hypotheticals like virtual reality architects or AI bias auditors, roles needed to build and manage these future AI applications.
It really feels like the dawn of the internet again, doesn't it? The sources make that exact comparison.
I do. Nobody imagined social media managers or app developers before the internet took off.
Totally new professions.
Exactly. And major tech shifts often create these unexpected waves of new work. The sources point to booming sectors already, like renewable energy, health tech, cybersecurity. AI is driving growth there.
So it's not just automating, it's enabling completely new things.
Precisely, creating demand for new kinds of expertise.
And it's not just tech fields, right? Even creative areas. You mentioned art earlier.
That's right. Tools like Midjourney, for instance. Artists are using AI not necessarily to replace them, but to enhance their workflow, try new things, speed up parts of the process.
Augmentation again.
Yeah, amplifying human creativity.
But, and this is the big but we keep coming back to, all these new jobs need new skills.
The crucial bottleneck.
Coding, data literacy, critical thinking. The sources hammer this home. Are we actually ready? Are schools, companies, governments prepared to deliver that training?
That is the core challenge. The potential is there, but realizing it depends entirely on a massive coordinated effort in education and reskilling.
It can't just be on individuals.
No way. It needs schools, businesses, government all pulling together, adapting curricula, investing in real training programs.
We are seeing some companies step up, though. The sources mentioned Amazon pledging, $1.2 billion for upskilling?
Yeah, that's a significant commitment, a positive sign.
What?
But the source has also warned that globally we might be way behind the curve. There's a real risk of a lag.
Meaning the jobs get created, but nobody's qualified to do them.
Exactly. A persistent skills gap, a workforce mismatch. That means continued unemployment in some areas, even while new roles sit empty.
Okay, this brings us to another really important point from the material.
Yeah.
The unique human advantages, the things AI can't do, or at least struggles with.
Yes, the enduring human element.
Empathy, creativity, ethics. The sources hit these hard.
Because they're incredibly hard, maybe impossible for current AI to truly replicate. The example used in one source was powerful.
Which one?
The difference between an AI diagnosing an illness based on data versus a human doctor delivering that news with real compassion.
Oh, right. Worlds apart.
Or negotiating a peace treaty that takes such a deep grasp of human emotion, motivation, nuance.
Those are great examples. They really show the irreplaceable human touch. And the sources suggest this could mean growth in human-centered roles.
That's the idea. Therapists, caregivers, crisis managers, jobs that lean heavily on those uniquely human skills.
Makes sense, as AI handles the routine stuff.
A demand for emotional intelligence, judgment, interpersonal skills likely goes up. And maybe industries built on authenticity, tourism, live events, crafts, they might thrive too.
That's a fascinating shift. Moving beyond just the tech to the value of human connection. I like the analogy in the sources.
The humans with machines one.
Yeah, not humans versus machines. Like Iron Man. Partnership.
Exactly. It reframes it as synergy. AI does task A, freeing up the human for task B, where their unique strengths really shine.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up for the listener. Based on this deep dive, the material you provided, what are the absolute key takeaways on AI and the job market?
Well, the main thing is AI will cause major disruption, significant transformation. Some sectors will feel it much more than others.
But it's not necessarily a guaranteed job apocalypse.
No, definitely not a foregone conclusion. It's not a simple either destruction or creation. The outcome isn't predetermined.
Right. The sources really stress that the future depends on the choices we make now.
Precisely. Things like investing seriously in education, in reskilling, building robust social safety nets for those who are displaced during the transition. They're
Developing AI responsibly, ethically.
absolutely critical. The sources are pretty clear. If we don't do these things proactively, we could face some really serious challenges. Widening inequality, unemployment.
Ultimately, the sources keep coming back to AI as a tool.
A powerful one.
And like any tool, its impact depends on us, our guidance, our values, our decision.
Exactly. We're steering this ship. It's not just happening to us.
So on that note, here's a final thought for you, our listener, inspired by one of the pieces you sent in. Considering all this, how optimistic are you about navigating your own career in this increasingly AI-driven world?
Ooh, that's a good one. Complex question. No easy answer there. Something to definitely keep mulling over.
Definitely.
And speaking of complex landscapes, our next deep dive, we're going to tackle, can AI truly be a game changer in solving climate change?
Another huge topic. Lots of potential, lots of debate.
For sure. Vast potential, but multifaceted realities.
So be sure to subscribe. Join us for that next exploration as we keep digging into the big questions shaping our world. Thanks for taking the deep dive with us today.